Hi, my name is Nikki Fitzgerald, and I'm Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Coastal Marine Agent, and today we're going to be looking at a watershed. So what is a watershed? Well, guess what? We all live in a watershed, and it is up to us to take care of our watershed. And if you look here, I have a model of a watershed. It's basically any area that will drain into a little stream or a river or a bayou, creek, and all those little streams and bayous and creeks will eventually connect together into like our Gulf of Mexico, or our ocean or our estuary here. So this is kind of an example of what a watershed would look like. You've got your little neighborhoods and you've got your industry, you got your farmland, and you got your different rivers and streams and things like that. And like I said, it's up to us to take care of our watershed because that's where all our drinking water comes from. Believe it or not, it doesn't just come in plastic bottles or out of our water tap. It actually comes from out from underneath the ground. And so everything that we do in our watershed will affect our drinking water. So for example, we have our neighborhood here, and we have different kinds of pollutions that could happen in a neighborhood. You got your non-point and you got your point source pollutions. So right now, as everybody's kind of home quarantine, we might be taking care of our lawns, and some things we might put on our lawns like ant baits. I'm putting some ant bait out and some extra fertilizer in our lawns. And of course, we all have pets and they use the restroom outside. So that's our different fertilizers there. Those are non-point source pollution because honestly, you can't really figure out exactly where those pollutions are coming from. And then a point source pollution is like our industries. You got your smoke and your different things coming out of an industry. And then of course, our farmlands, we've got fertilizers and pesticides and cattle stuff. Now, before you get upset with me, we all have to use fertilizers and pesticides and things like that to control. But one thing is to always read the labels because a lot of people have a tendency to overuse those. And when you overuse them, they run off and they end up in our watershed. So be, an active science citizen and make sure you read the labels and put the right amount to avoid this, because when it rains, as you can see, I'm making it rain, our watersheds tend to drain from high points to low points. So as you can see, the farmland's draining. Then here is our industry. And all of these are running into our water streams. I think I'm going to actually take the lid off and pour. So we're gonna have a big rainfall here. So now you can see as the water's going, it's going down into our water stream and out into our estuaries and bays. And the same out here for our neighborhoods. So if it rains, the excess water will drain and all of the pollution and stuff will actually go with it down into our waters and streams. And of course, everything that ends up into our waters and streams and bays and things like that will eventually end up into our underground, and that's where our water comes from. So make sure we're always reading labels, not putting excess things out on the ground, excess fertilizers, excess ant baits and things like that, and pick up our pet waste. And also to remember that our wetlands and things like this, I have an example of our wetland. These are normally at the end of your river basins and things like that. They're really good at filtering our water, and they're habitats for different animals and things like that. So it's good to protect our wetlands and stuff. And also, like I said, just make sure you're taking care of everything, and hopefully you learned something today. Thank you.